What's up? Welcome back to Just Another Sports Betting Podcast, the greatest sports betting podcast name you'll ever come up with. I'm Cody. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at Cody_CSU. I'm joined with my good friend Tommy today. You can follow him on Twitter, Tom of Wrigley, correct?
That is me. Yes. Hello.
What's up, man?
What's going on? So great.
First time guest. How do you feel?
I'm excited. I am a degenerate gambler responsibly, of course, as you know. So this feels right. I feel good. Let's do this.
Hell yeah, man. Well, one of the reasons that Tommy is here is because we've recently begun texting each other what we're being degenerates for.
Responsibly,
of course. But also, we were at Country Club in Wrigley the other night, last Saturday, and it was game one of Padres and Dodgers, and we both bet on Shohei Ohtani to go over on total bases. I think you sprinkled on the home run.
I did.
And then he had the greatest bat flip I've ever seen from, well, maybe not necessarily the greatest, but because the Jose Bautista one still lives rent-free in my head. But
yes.
As far as from Shohei Ohtani himself, that might have been the greatest bat flip that he has ever put out into the universe. And we both cashed. And while we were in Country Club, everyone was there watching the Florida State Clemson game. And me and him erupted like something crazy in that game happened when really nothing happened. We were just happy to win a bet.
Yeah, it was dead silent in the bar for obvious reasons because it was a Florida State bar.
Yeah.
And then, Shohei puts on a performance. The pitch before that, he drilled his own kneecap on a foul ball, and then he just launches a ball and then launches his bat, and then we both launched in the air. It was a moment. A moment was had, folks.
So yeah, that is why he's here. I think he's going to start joining me on these. I'm going to start doing these Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So today we're going to do Thursday night football. Tomorrow we'll do college football, and then Friday we're going to do the NFL slate. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we're live on my Twitter account right now and on my Instagram account. I think I don't know if we're for sure live on my Instagram, but
we'll find out.
So most importantly, come to the YouTube channel, hit that like button, and subscribe. Like I said, if you're on my YouTube channel, I said on the Illinois show, the Illinois podcast, I said that a lot more content's going to be coming out on that channel now that the Cubs season is over and my life isn't just solely dedicated to CHGO, 8 hours of my day. So, Tommy,
Cody,
are we gonna bet Shohei Ohtani before we go to the football game? Are we gonna bet on Shohei Ohtani tonight?
I already have. He's facing Cease again. He clearly has Cease's number. Even if he doesn't homer, he's going to make hard contact. So here's what I did. I did do a full unit play on both Tatis and Ohtani to have over 1.5 bases. That is parlayed. And I got to juice the parlay on FanDuel. And then I did sprinkle a little bit on Shohei to hit a home run at plus 350. I don't know. Dodgers backs against the wall. I've also heard rumblings and seen a couple things that there is a non-0% chance that we see Shohei Ohtani on the bump tonight.
Really?
Late in the game with the game on the line, all I'm saying is there is a non-0% chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's what I've seen. So
I know that he's been working to get back.
And he has been throwing in the bullpen every single game before the game. So, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about his bat. And I sprinkled a little bit on the homer.
Well, I think I might ride too. I feel like I'm at least going to take that total base prop on BetMGM. It was around minus 105, which I just feel like is free money. But considering betting on Ohtani is no fun because the markets all year are just so juiced. They've been so juiced, and at minus 105, going up against a guy he hit a 3-run jack off of on Saturday, and
the ball's still in the air. The ball
still has not landed. Right, like I feel like it's totally worth the play. So, there's your baseball play for tonight, folks. Okay. Football. NFL. What is this? Week 6?
Yes, yep, we are entering week 6.
Entering week 6. Thursday Night Football. Little Prime Video. We got Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit calling 49ers and Seahawks, the NFC West showdown, the game of the ages. Not really, but I will say
that Al Michaels has been able to see some good football this year because it started off pretty rough.
Yeah, last Thursday's game was good. As most people know, I'm a big system guy on the primetime unders, like every other degenerate. Basically, it's nothing new. And the over hit. It was very close by halftime.
Yes. Yeah.
And then eventually hit in the third quarter, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, there haven't been a lot of great Thursday night games. I feel like this total, we could start with the total.
Yeah.
The total is at 49.5. Yesterday, it was at 47, I believe. You still have another day. It could, at this point, I feel like it could get up over 50, considering how many people are playing it.
Yeah.
I'm taking the under no matter what, because it's a system play. But just from a pure football standpoint, I just don't know what to think of the Seahawks. And if this goes over, I think it will be because the Seahawks give up 1,000 points like they basically did to the Lions 2 weeks ago. But then last week, they gave up 29 to the Giants.
Yeah.
So then it comes down to how many points will the 49ers allow the Seahawks to score on the road. I understand why that spread or that total keeps rising, but short week, and as we know, plenty of injuries, especially on the 49ers. I don't know what to expect. And that leans, even from a football perspective, I still feel like no matter what, I'm going to take the under. I'm not placing the bet yet, but if it gets over 50, I would for sure take the under.
Yeah. So I'm looking here on one of the websites that I use to scout some things. And at the beginning of the week, this thing started at 47. It's already up to 49.5. So obviously a lot of people are feeling like the Seahawks give up a lot of points, and the probability of the Niners scoring points is there. So it's up to 49.5. I locked it in already under 49.5. I feel good about that. It could go up, but 49.5 was a good enough number for me. I think San Francisco is going to be by far the best defense that the Seahawks have seen yet. They've looked at Denver, New England, Detroit, Miami, and the Giants. None of those defenses are that good, you know?
Yeah.
And San Francisco, the way that their offense is rolling, and like you said, some of the injuries that they have, they're going to look to get a lead pretty quick and then chew up some clock. So I am with you on the under. The whole primetime thing is obviously a thing as well. It's a system that just straight up works most of the time. So, and no system is perfect. So of course you're going to have a fluke like last week. I think we get back to business. I am not an unders guy by any means. I hate unders, but under is just the smartest play to make for tomorrow night's game.
In terms of just the 49.5 total, the Seahawks, in 4 of the 5 games they've played, the total has been under 49.5. For the 49ers, the total has been under 49.5, 3 out of the 5 games. But they've at the end, it's not the line, but it's more about how many points they've been putting up in every game. But they have gone over in 3 of their 5 games, if that makes any sense. You get what I'm
I think I'm with you. Yeah. We also don't super know what the Seahawks are.
Right.
Even through 5 weeks, I have no idea what the Seahawks are.
Right. So like I said, the Seahawks, 4 out of the 5 games, they have gone over 49.5 points. Or they've gone under 49.5 points, but they've hit the over in 4 out of 5 games to start the year. Right. Their only under was against the Dolphins Week 3, they won 24-3. I think that was the first week the Dolphins didn't have Tua.
That is correct.
So take that with what you will. But allowing 29 points to the Giants last week, they allowed 42 to Detroit the week before. I think the only way that this goes over is if the Seahawks defense is just atrocious. But I feel like the 49ers, and this is kind of going to translate or transition to my spread play, which is at 3.5. I think a lot of people lean 49ers because they're 2-3. They're coming off a loss that honestly, they're the reason they lost the game. Like, they didn't get beat. They just didn't make the plays, the simple plays you need to do at the very end of the game to win a game. So I think it's a must-win game for the 49ers here. I hate taking road favorites, but I'm not a believer in the Seahawks team. And at 3.5, the only way I feel like the 49ers do not cover the spread is if they hurt themselves again. Like,
Sure.
They make another mistake at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Like, there's a turnover that causes a backdoor cover. I think the safest play here is to take the 49ers, even at 3.5. I hate the hook, that field goal. And it's a divisional matchup. Both these teams probably know each other very well. The injuries for the 49ers do, in fact, scare me a little bit in that, and that's probably why it's 3.5. If McCaffrey was healthy, if I could go, I'm looking at their list of injuries right now.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Kittle is questionable. I think he's going to play though, so
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that. Let me make you feel a little better about yourself with that pick, because I'm also all over the 49ers 3.5.
Okay.
And it started off not that way.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about before we went on the air how I'm kind of fading myself this week on all of my plays. And it's a smart thing to do because I have been ice cold. I woke up this morning and I looked at Instagram and I saw the Seattle Seahawks page, and they are wearing their sweet throwback uniforms tomorrow night.
Oh,
it is a home game. It is a night home game in Seattle, and they're wearing their throwback uniforms.
okay.
Stupid Tommy would immediately say the house on the Seahawks money line.
Okay.
Not stupid Tommy went to the books and saw what was happening. Let's pretend like uniforms don't matter and the play on the field is what matters, if you will.
Yeah.
In divisional games, when both teams are on short rest, the favorites are 98, 79, and 5 against the spread in the last 20 years. That's a big sample size, but there you go.
Mm-hmm.
In that same instance, the road teams are 99, 77, and 5 against the spread. So both of those lean 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
In Thursday night games since 2019, the home team is 36 and 46 against the spread. This also leans Niners. 49ers are 7-2 against the spread on the road against the NFC West since 2022, and they have not lost consecutive games against the spread on the road since 2021. Keep in mind, they lost in Los Angeles on week 3. This is going to be the first game in the division on the road since then. All of these are just screaming 49ers, 49ers, 49ers. And I'm with them because stupid Tommy would pick the uniforms. Smart Tommy is here telling you the 49ers are a 2-3 football team who is expected to make another deep run in the playoffs, and they got to get going, and they got to get going right now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. I do love a good uniform bet.
I mean, those throwbacks are just so sweet. The kind of metallic-y looking, and I'm all over the uniforms, and I'll be loving seeing the uniforms, but this game is 49ers. 49ers, don't think, just do.
KG in the chat from Twitter, he says, I can't see the NFL letting the 49ers fall to 2-4. So 49ers in the 3.5, I think, is a pretty good bet. Can see a questionable call or two in this game in San Fran's favor. I tend to agree.
Yeah, and I'm not big on NFL conspiracy theories unless they involve the Green
The
Bay
script.
Packers. Yeah, unless they involve the Green Bay Packers, but
Unless it fits your narrative.
correct, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, the 49ers were one of the Super Bowl favorites going into this year, and they're 2-3. Like a 2-4 team isn't going to come back and make the playoff or make it to the Super Bowl. They might make the playoffs, but it's so this is a game they have to have. Both teams are coming off just absolutely brutal losses. So they're both juiced up, amped up, ready to go. The Seahawks one might be even more brutal at home against the Giants, and they lost. That's a tough one. But
you see the Seahawks losing back-to-back home games with how tough it is to play there.
Yeah. I mean,
like
I'm just reading the script, brother. Like, it's tough. It's hard. This is a hard game, and we'll talk about the NFL slate on Friday, but this is going to be a real tough week to be a gambler in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, we power through every week. That's the best thing I can tell y'all. Best of luck. Right now, I mean, I lean 49ers on the spread, but I love the under on the total just because I feel like the 49ers defense is at least going to show up. Defense does travel in the NFL. And I can't trust the Seahawks, especially when their offense was just so bad against a Giants team that that just isn't good.
Right.
And I feel like this 49ers team is the perfect bounce back spot for them. They need to get back to 3-3. And like KG said in the chat, like it's kind of it's more of a must win game for them than anything else, especially since the Seahawks, it's not like they have high expectations this year.
Yeah. And they're 3-2 and they're probably feeling themselves a little bit. And and I mean, the loss against the Lions was pretty tough because they gave up a bajillion points. Obviously, the loss against the Giants stings a ton. But yeah, the 49ers just seem like the play. And at least we know that if the Seahawks somehow do cover and win this game, it's strictly only because of the uniforms.
Strictly. Yeah. Okay. Related to the spread, what's a insightful stat I have for you? Oh yeah, you already said it. Or maybe I don't. What website did you use, by the way?
I used Action Network.
Action Network. Okay. I use an app called Outlier. Highly recommend. But they are telling me the Niners are 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 games as a favorite. You said they are 7-2 their last 9 games against the NFC West, correct?
On the road since 2022. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 49ers are 2-7 against the spread the last 9 games just as a favorite. So that, to me, that kind of tells me that they're due, especially this year. They've been favored in all 5 games. They covered against the Patriots. They were 10.5 point favorites that game they covered. And then very first game of the year for them, they were 3.5 point favorites against the Jets, and they blew them out. So they did not cover against the Vikings. They did not cover against the Rams, but the Rams is one of those games that I felt like they were up by multiple touchdowns and they just
they gave it away
at the end of the game. Yeah, they gave it away, right? So
then then they gave it away to Seattle, or I'm sorry, they gave it away to Arizona.
Right.
I feel like they get out ahead and they stomp their foot down and say, we're not doing this again.
I think like the games against the Rams and the Cardinals, like while they're brutal beats, I feel like as a degenerate gambler, you can look back and say the process was right. It's just all these factors that you have no effect on came back and bit you, and that's gambling, right?
Right. Yeah. That's gambling. If you're not willing to pay for these losses, then you're in the wrong business for sure.
Right. Okay. Now, player props, I feel great about. All right.
That's great.
I've been really excited to talk to you about these. Okay.
All right.
I have 2 player props.
I'm in.
All right. Jordan Mason over 80.5 rushing yards.
Okay.
Okay. And George Kittle over 48.5 receiving yards. Now, on BetMGM, Jordan Mason's rushing total is already up to 82.5. I placed this yesterday.
Yep.
And George Kittle is up to 54.5. So I'd still play it just because the Seahawks have been terrible, not only against the run, but they've been terrible against tight ends this year. All right. So Jordan Mason, let me bring it up here. Jordan Mason, he's gone over the 82.5 mark in 4 out of 5 games this year. The one game he didn't, he hit 77. So he was really close.
Sure.
But the Seahawks, they are 20th in rushing yards allowed and 25th in rushing yards allowed to running backs. All right. And then George Kittle, I believe, is I think the Seahawks are 27th against tight ends, I want to say.
Yeah, it's not great. They're definitely in the bottom half for sure.
Yeah, and receiving yards, they're 27th against tight ends. And with the injuries they have right now, he's been getting a lot more play at 64 yards receiving last week against the Cardinals, 45 against the Patriots, 76 against the Vikings. And the 49ers, they pass at 52% of the snaps, which, they run at 47% of the snaps. So it's about even.
Yeah.
But they do tend to throw it just a little bit more. As far as, targets, George Kittle had 12 targets last week. He had 4 the week before, 8 before the week before that, and 5 the week before that. So he's still getting, anywhere from 4 to 12 targets per game. I know that's kind of a wide margin, but it's not like he's only getting 1 or 2 targets a game. He's obviously one of the best tight ends in football. So I like George Kittle again over 48.5 receiving yards, and I'd play it. What it's at 54.5 now on BetMGM, wherever you shop around, maybe look around, but
yeah,
I'd play it up to 60, to be honest with you. I don't think it will get to 60, but I would play it up to that.
Yeah, I think you're dead on with Kittle. I haven't placed a bet on Kittle yet, but I've been eyeing the market for it. I think you're right. Up to 60, you got to feel good because all those things and numbers that you said about the Seahawks defense, you're absolutely correct. They just leave space wide open down the middle for a guy like George Kittle to just turn around. And then George Kittle is a guy that has the capability to just run people over. So he's going to get some yak. He's probably going to have a big night. I don't hate him scoring a touchdown either, but we can discuss that on another time. I am with you on George Mason, though, but I've given myself a little bit of an insurance policy on that because I think that the way Brock Purdy is going to work, he's going to have some check down opportunities, and Mason's going to be right there for him. So I took rushing and receiving yards combined over 95.5. That was on DraftKings at -110. He's definitely going to be the number 1 back and rushing up the middle. I think he's going to get some receiving yards along the way as well. And he's another yak guy. So, if his rushing totals are in the low 80s, somewhere right there, all I need is 15, 20 yards over in the air to get me over 95.5. I'll take that. So that was my big prop that I liked.
Well, go ahead.
And then I do have one more prop. It has nothing to do with skill position players like wide receivers and running backs and stuff, but it rather goes to the quarterbacks and the negative effects of the quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
There is a prop on BetMGM for Brock Purdy and Geno Smith combined over 1.5 interceptions. I don't know if we get 1 from each. We could get 2 from Geno, but it's +115 on BetMGM for over 1.5 interceptions between the two guys. I love betting interceptions because when that hits and the guy throws the interception and you just jump out of your seat, it's one of the best feelings in gambling. I love it so much. So I'm addicted to interceptions. I think there's going to be defense and at least from the 49ers. Mm-hmm. And then maybe we get 1 from Brock as well because he threw a fluky one against the Cardinals. So we'll see. Yeah. But I love interceptions.
I do kind of dig that a little bit. I think it's more likely that Geno will throw 2.
Definitely.
Because I think the Seahawks are going to be forced to have to throw the ball more than the 49ers. But, yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
As far as Jordan Mason's prop, I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's just his highest receiving total this year has been 37 yards. And then other than that, 9 receiving yards last week, 11 the week before, or 11 against the Rams, 4 against the Vikings,
Sure.
and 5 against the Jets. So it's not like I'm thinking that sure he could potentially be targeted 2 or 3 times, I guess, in the flat, and hopefully the yak adds up for you in that aspect. I just, based off what I've seen, he's just like running the ball. I think he gets plenty.
Well,
of
if he dominates on the ground and he could get me 95.5 on the ground, I'm still a winner. So,
well, hell, even if he can get you even if he can get you 90 and then he catches one for 10 yards, even like, I don't know. I feel like the rushing prop is the safer bet, but
love it.
Best of luck, man.
Hey, we're here to win.
Yeah.
Any way we can.
I'm looking at his targets every game. He had 1 target last week, 3 targets the week before against the Patriots, 2 against the Rams, 1 against the Vikings, and 1 against the Jets. So I'm just going to say, if anyone wants to fade Tommy on anything, I would fade him on rushing and receiving for Jordan Mason. Just take the rushing prop.
Well, you haven't heard my long shot pick yet, so
I'm ready.
You may want to fade that too.
I'm ready for long shots. Okay, let's get into it. I don't know about you, but I love a good first touchdown bet. Okay,
don't we?
And all I can say is, instead of putting $10 on one, I'm just taking a few bucks and putting on multiple, because I have not hit one yet this year, and I am deserving of hitting one. Okay.
I understand.
All right. So we haven't talked about this guy, but Juwan Jennings plus 1,500 to score the first touchdown. He leads the 49ers in red zone targets, or he's tied with Kittle with 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm taking Juwan Jennings plus 1,500 to score the first touchdown. I don't know how they will do it, but he's been getting the targets down there. And so I'm going to roll the dice on him. And then basically, I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm going to take George Kittle as well, with a few bucks on Kittle to score the first touchdown. And he's at plus 1,000. These are on BetMGM.
I love the Jennings pick. I love the stat about him having the most targets in the red zone. That certainly helps his probability. And I'm seeing that you can get it up to plus 1,800 on FanDuel. So that is not a bad number at all. So very nice pick there. I may ride with you on that. I don't have a first touchdown scorer, but I do have an anytime touchdown scorer.
Okay.
We've already talked about the probability of Geno Smith throwing 1 interception, potentially 2. There's also a probability that San Francisco takes that ball and runs it straight into the end zone.
Yeah.
I have taken the 49ers defense or special teams anytime touchdown plus 650. Defensive touchdowns are another one that I am willing to die on a hill for. I am undefeated when I bet it this season. I am 3-0. I'm picking my spots carefully, and I'm feeling it. And I've already placed the bet at plus 650. So 49ers defense scoring a touchdown for me, or special teams. I'm not picky.
Okay. I'm putting it in right now because I was actually thinking about it as well.
Yeah. I love the Jennings first touchdown. That's worth at least a couple dollars to get a little bit back. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Here's the hoping that we look smart in 2 days.
And you know what? If we don't, we'll try again tomorrow.
Tomorrow we will be back at 4 p.m. We'll do the college football slate. And there are college football games tomorrow as well. So maybe we'll start with those, and then we'll go into Friday and Saturday. And there's so many games. So I'm going to try and hold my limit to 5 games.
Sure. I do have a college football pick tonight already locked in if you'd like.
I do too. Does it have to do with Trey Stewart for Jacksonville State?
It has to do with Jacksonville State, but it doesn't have to do with Trey Stewart. I have the team total over 41.5. They're going to score a bajillion points tonight.
A bajillion points. Well, that will clearly go over 41.5 if they score a bajillion. The total is 59. They're 21.5 point favorites. My only thing is that they are like run heavy. So it's like, that's what scares me about it. But listen, New Mexico State stinks. So
Yeah, I don't trust them to give me any points. I was going to go 59.5, but I don't trust them to give me any points. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking Trey Stewart rushing total at 96.5.
Love it.
He's gone over this like every game this year.
I might ride with you on that.
And the New Mexico State is like 128th in the country in rushing yards allowed. So
and there's only 127 schools. So no,
something they're like outside the top 100. So that means that they give up a ton of yards. And again, Jacksonville State, heavy run. They're going to run the ball. Run.
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out and best of luck with your Thursday night football bets tomorrow. Shohei Ohtani, total bases or homer tonight. Trey Stewart rushing total tonight. Team total for Jacksonville State, 41.5, because apparently a bajillion points will be scored, according to Tommy.
It'll be done in the first quarter.
Right. Exactly. Absolutely. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope you'll have a good rest of your day and bet responsibly, but maybe not so much at the same time. I'll see y'all later.